Hi, and welcome to our last Level 3 critical path analysis video. We're back to example 2, and we're going to talk about what all these numbers mean when we did the forward and the backward runs in the last video. Right, we're going to introduce what we call a Gantt chart. Gantt chart is simply kind of like a bar chart, but it's a table, and it's going to be a description of all the possible activities and what time intervals each activity can take place in. We're going to start off with a critical path. So activity A must be between the 0 and 1st minute. Activity B is between the 1st and 3rd minute. Activity D is between the 3rd and the 6th minute. Activity F is between the 6th up to 8 minutes. And activity H starts at 8 minutes and finishes at 11 minutes. So that's the critical path. Right, let's look at other activities within this project. Activity C can start at the 1st minute and finish at the 3rd minute, but it could also start at the 4th minute and finish at the 6th minute. So activity C can happen at any time within this interval. Activity E can start at the 3rd minute up to the 6th minute, but the latest time it could start is the 4th minute up to the 7th minute. So activity E could happen any time within this time interval. And finally, activity G, we could start activity G in the 6th minute and finish in the 7th, 6 to 7, or we could start it between 7 minutes up to 8 minutes. So activity G could happen any time in this interval. So this is our Gantt chart, and it provides us an idea of when we could do each activity. Right, I've listed down a list of activity times for each activity using the Gantt chart as my guideline. Right, well at Merit and Excellence, we tend to ask questions about things like delays. What projects, what activities can be delayed in the project that won't affect the outcome of the project or the time, the minimum time. I want to make it clear to start with, if any of the activities in the critical path are delayed, the entire project is going to get delayed. So if A gets delayed and takes longer than a minute, the entire project's going to get longer than 11 minutes. But there are things that can be delayed. Activity C could be delayed by up to 3 minutes if we needed to. Activity E could be delayed by 1 minute if we needed. And activity G could also be delayed by 1 minute if we needed. The other thing we've got to be, we could be asked in a assessment is give us an example of a project. So what that means is come up with an idea of how a project could actually work from this Gantt chart. So have a look here. If we did activity C between 4 and 6 minutes, notice it's going to clash with activity E. So I think the best advice would be not to do activity C that late and to leave activity C early between the 1st and 3rd minute. There's another clash. If we left activity E between the 4th and 7th minute, it's going to clash with activity G if we did that between the 6th and 7th minute. So I think we're going to do activity E between the 3rd and 6th minute. And then we've got a choice when we do activity G, and I'm just going to do it between the 6th and 7th to get it done earlier. So I'm going to use this as an example of what could be done. I'm just going to put activities E up with the same line as C and G up the same line as C, so that I've got my activities, my critical path, and my second lot of activities all in one row. Now, what that means is we can introduce teams. Now, a team could be one worker, or it could be several workers, depending on how many I need to complete each activity. If it was just one worker, we'd have 2 workers to complete this project. The first worker, team 1, would do the entire critical path, A, then B, then D, then F, then H. And team 2, second worker, would do activities C, E, and G within these time frames. Great, thanks so much for watching.